Okay, folks, welcome to Forte and Goal. We're here on a Thursday, right before game time, as per usual, giving you the most up-to-date information on all the games for the weekend. And we're going to start out with the Thursday night game, which is the Indianapolis Colts hosting the New York Jets. The Jets are coming into this game 2-5. And the Colts are 3-5, so just one game better. Who would have thought that the Colts would be one game better than the Jets at this point in the season? It never ceases to amaze me. The NFL just keeps throwing us all for loops. Anyway, some key things to think about in this very exciting matchup tonight. Mike White has played really well, hasn't he? I mean, my God, he's been like this big surprise. Played better than Zach Wilson, but I mean, this is a very small sample size. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mike White's been a career backup, and Zach Wilson definitely has a higher ceiling as a quarterback. So I'm not jumping off of Zach Wilson thinking this guy's going to be a bust or anything. I think the kid's got talent. I think Mike White was terrific, and he's in his own right a talented quarterback, just maybe not as high a ceiling. But let's see. I mean, maybe with his experience, he's now 4 years into the league, maybe with his experience, he can run this offense more efficiently and make less mistakes, because the Jets' defense isn't bad. If they can just, make some plays and reduce turnovers, they have a chance to win a few more ball games. Let's take a look at some really interesting, facts and such. So Mike White apparently has targeted running backs a lot. 32 times in 2 appearances, he has targeted his running backs. The Colts are 3-0 versus teams that are 500 this season, 0-4 against teams that are above 500 or better. Mike White didn't attempt a deep pass. That means 20 yards or more in Week 8 against Cincinnati. All of his pass attempts were 10 yards or under. Those are the key stats key important things to look at. Now let's get into the stats, kind of see what what they say and whether they tell the story or not, okay? So the Jets are 30th in offense, true. The Colts are 12th in total offense. Their defense for the Jets is 18th, although I think they're a little bit better. The Colts are 20th, that sounds about right. 30th in passing for the Jets, 32nd in rushing. The Colts are 18th in passing, and they're 8th in rushing. I'm actually a little surprised that they're running the ball so effectively. The Colts, 18th in passing, that doesn't sound bad. Carson Wentz has played, I think, about as good as Frank Reich would like him to play. I think that they're on the right track as far as Wentz is concerned. I think they have to give him a second year to see what he's doing and if he's any good. Now, this game, like I said, is in Indianapolis. Right away, you give them an advantage. They do have a better record. They're probably a more talented team overall. I think that they're going to struggle a little bit against the Jets' defense running the ball, and I think that in the passing should work well. I don't like the weapons that the Colts have, but I do see them winning this ball game. It would be a miracle. It would be Mike White being hot for the Jets to win this game. I don't think it's going to be a particularly high-scoring game. I'm going to give the Colts the advantage in this game. I'm going to say they win this game 24 to 13. 24-13. And the Colts win the game. Okay, so the second game we've got on tap is the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the New Orleans Saints. Saints are surprisingly come in at 5-2, and the Atlanta Falcons are 3-4. Again, the Saints are 5-2. Who would have thought that? That just speaks to Sean Payton. It speaks to the talent that's on the team, and they do have talent. They have one of the better offensive lines in the league. They've got a very good running back, Alvin Kamara. They've got a really good defense. Now, speaking of that defense, in 2021, these guys are allowing a 79% rate which is second in the league. They're also completion percentage is tied for fourth. So this gives you an idea of just how stout this defense has been, and they're good against the run as well. So this is a tough defense. I really believe in them. Here's some interesting things you might want to know about these Saints that I find very interesting. The Alvin Kamara is such a focal part of that offense, and yet what we've seen is that in the first two games he had 17.5 touches a game, 60.5 scrimmage yards per game, 14 carries a game, 44 rushing yards per game, and 1 TD. In the last 5 games, he's had 25 touches, 25.2, 123 scrimmage yards, 21 carries, and 78.4 rushing yards per game, 5 TDs. So he has clearly averaged a lot more numbers. He's performing better. They're utilizing the few weapons that the team actually has. Alvin Kamara on offense, he's a little bit like CMC was for years in Carolina. Similar situation, similar skill set. Now back to the game. Some interesting stats. I like to give you these type of a look because I want to see whether or not the stats match up with the actual game. The actual story. So the Falcons are 27th in offense. What can I tell you? They are not the same offense they were in the Super Bowl a few years ago. 27th in offense, 8th in defense. Their defense is that good? That's a shocker. They've really come on. They had a few sacks against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was like, well, they're able to get to the passer. They're 23rd in passing, 28th in rushing. Now, again, did the stories tell that did stats tell the story? Well, the 8th ranked defense sure jumped out at me. 27th in offense is a bit of a shock. The Saints are 31st in offense, not a surprise. They're 4th in defense. I told you they were strong. 31st in passing, 13th in rushing. So not doing too badly rushing, but they're almost dead last as far as their passing. Not a surprise. This team is barely passing the ball, and they're lucky to have a good offensive line that can open lanes and pass protect and create run lanes for Kamara or whoever else is doing it. But at the end of the day, it's it's the coach, Sean, not McVay, Sean. Why am I anyway? The coach is leading the way. The Falcons. I commend them because they're having a fairly decent season, even though people thought they'd be even worse. This game, like I said, is in New Orleans, so I really don't give the Falcons much chance. If they can rush the passer, Trevor Simeon's going to start at quarterback again, but if they can get after the passer and make life difficult, they do have a chance for an upset. I said I don't give them much chance, but I do. If they can get to the passer, they're going to be in good shape. Their defensive backfield's gotten a little bit better. Their offense is very suspect against a really good, defense for the Saints. This is going to be a defensive battle. It'll be a low-scoring game. I'd be shocked if this game gets above 30 by either team. I'm going to say 21-17. 21-17. The Saints win this game. And you got to be uber surprised about the Calvin Ridley situation. That just takes away another weapon from this Atlanta team. So all the more reason to believe that they're not going to be explosive. Cordell Patterson's been a real find for that Atlanta team, along with Pitts, Kyle Pitts, the tight end. And that's the gist of it. Mike Davis at running back has done a nice job, better than I thought. I always thought of him a little bit as a bowling ball. I always thought of him a bit as a bowling ball type. But he's got moves. He's quicker than I thought. So let's see what happens. But that's my prediction. Okay, the next game up is the Denver Broncos visiting the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas gets to host this game. First things first, Dak looks like he'll be playing. Okay, this is not going to be the Cooper Rush show again. He will be going against a Denver team that has a very good defense, I think particularly with the pass defense. They did lose Von Miller. They made a big trade, in case you didn't know, so they won't have quite the same pass rush. The Cowboys do have a slight concern with CeeDee Lamb. He has sprained his ankle at practice. That being said, we should be getting Michael Gallup back in this game. So Cowboys are doing good as far as the depth of their players and the performance. People are stepping up. I just feel like, there have been some questionable moves, and that there always will be. I mean, who thought Terrence Steele would end up playing as well as he did? And that's been amazing. I think a lot of people didn't believe that Cooper Rush could have this kind of game, over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So people are stepping up. And like I said, even if Lamb were to miss this game, which I really don't foresee, then we're getting Gallup back. So again, we're ready. The team is overall is pretty healthy. We should be getting some guys back soon. That's D. Law and Gallimore, but with Randy Gregory providing the rush that he's giving us, and then the blitzes and great coverage, we're in good shape. We're playing against a Denver team that honestly isn't that great. Their receivers have been decimated. They do have Courtland Sutton, and I'm not sure who else is going to be healthy. But there's Teddy Bridgewater quarterbacking, and I respect Teddy Bridgewater's game, but he's basically, I think, an average quarterback. So playing away from home, they're going against a Cowboys team that can beat you on the ground or by air. They can, you pick your poison. So I don't see Denver having the answer, the secret formula to stop this Cowboys offense. The Cowboys will most likely roll, and I don't think it's going to be like a big blowout, but I don't see that Denver offense generating a lot of points. I'm going to say they get 10 points against the Cowboys defense. I think the Cowboys will be right where they usually are, somewhere in that 28 to 34 range. So I'm going to say they win this game 31-10. 31-10, Cowboys win the game. I got ahead of myself. I guess I got a little excited. But let me give you a couple of key stats about this game so that we look at it and see whether or not things look right. Well, first I'll give you some interesting points. The Broncos have 4 wins this season. They've come against teams with a combined record of 7-22. So what does that tell you? Denver, by the way, I forgot to mention, is 4-4. Cowboys are 6-1. So what does that tell you? They've only beaten bad teams. The last time that the Atlanta Braves won the World Series, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. That was '95. Okay, the Broncos have allowed 17.1 points per game this season. That's the second fewest in the NFL, so I told you it's a tough defense. The Cowboys have averaged 32 points per game. That is third most in the NFL. I think we're number 1 offense in the league right now. That's points per game, but in yards per game is where we're ahead. So just gives you, like I say, some idea of what we're working with here. Now let's look at the actual stats, right? Yeah, let's look at the actual stats right now. So the Broncos are 18th in offense. The Cowboys are 4th. That's what they said. I thought it was 1st. The defense for the Broncos is ranked 13th. The Cowboys are all the way at 11th. That's moving up. And I think they're going to be a top 10 defense before the season's out. Okay, the Broncos are 14th in passing. They're 18th in rushing. The Cowboys are 5th in passing, 4th in rushing. So I think the stats are pretty accurate here. I think it tells the story. As I gave my prediction earlier, I think I'm just going to say, look out, Denver. Cowboys win another game. Did you say ants or those flying?
Those flying things.
Yeah.